5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now go home and get your shine box.
Welcome to Go Get Your Shine Box, the podcast that brings you a roller coaster ride through the world of politics, comedy, and everything in between. Listen in as we dive into today's topics, dissect current events, and deliver insightful commentary with a dash of humor. Join us as we unpack complex issues, challenge the status quo, and strive to shed light on the important topics that shape our lives. Get ready to laugh, learn, and be inspired. It's time to join the conversation.
Yeah, well, I don't know, guys. How you doing tonight?
Excuse me.
Laugh, learn, and maybe cry a little when you know. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Did I interrupt you?
Dash of humor.
You know, I took a lot of time to do that, and then I used some guy's fake AI voice because I just thought. We gotta get some feedback because I don't know. It's a little bland. I know we like coming in and charging in, but it's this way. It's a steady. Everybody knows what we do. It's a dash of humor, unless it's not.
I don't like it.
I bring more than a dash, just myself.
I don't like. It's kind of insulting if you ask me.
What I forgot was when I did it was the amount of ego in this room.
Well, yeah, okay. That dash of ego, I think you can throw in there.
I insist that we continue to use that format.
Here we go.
I'm personally, I'm in a great mood tonight.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you know, we got an interesting topic.
So excuse me.
Everything went wrong today, but I am still my word of the day. I'm full of love for my fellow humans, and my word of the day is eviscerate.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of love?
Hate.
Well, I was told today. I was listening to some other wise men, and
she's wrong.
I was told the opposite of love was fear. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the opposite of love is indifference. Maybe.
I beg to differ with you.
Well, okay. Beg all you want.
I don't know.
Apathy, you know.
I was voted most apathetic in my senior class.
Okay.
Next to my picture that had nothing under it.
Were you also voted the most quiet? Because I can hardly hear you.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Pick it up a little.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. So we're going to give you a hint on what tonight's topic is. Although if you clicked on the button, you already know.
Somebody breathing like a gorilla in here, man.
Oh, man. When your junkie son is Hunter Biden. That's right. Party like it's 1999.
In the White House, baby. I always wanted to party in the White House.
Just, you and Willie Nelson, right?
Right. Let's do it.
Man alive. All right. Welcome tonight, everybody. It's a Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening, and here we are, semi-live.
It's hot.
Yes.
It's hot out.
It's hot.
What's it like in sunny Florida, man? It must be over 100 degrees down there.
Isn't it shade? Yeah, there you go.
The lion was laying down, and
it was so hot.
Hot. His mane. He's all, and the jackals were coming up, nipping at his toes. If anybody knows what that is. I was going to say call in, but we don't have that capability
I
yet.
mentioned to you now I'm going to have to. I have been purposefully dismissing the Amazon Dune or whoever the hell made it.
Yeah.
Now they got Christopher Walken coming in as the Padishah Emperor. I'm going to have to watch it.
Hey, when Chris Walken, it's a party. That was a meme.
He's supposed to be a real bad guy too.
I heard he was. He does a cooking
character,
show. Makes chicken.
Makes chicken.
I'd like to party with him.
Yeah. Didn't he party with Natalie Wood and what's his name?
Robert.
Wagner.
Robert Wagner.
Yeah. It Takes a Thief. Yeah, he's quite the guy. And he said
Natalie Wood.
By the way, the show isn't about Christopher Walken, but
my heart.
I know. Anyway, so it is, however, about Hunter Biden, the cocaine junkie.
Whoa! You don't know that was his cocaine, do you?
I was only kidding.
Well, that is the assumption.
It could have been one of the construction workers.
Now, let me get a word in here.
Go ahead.
All right, listen. Let me tell you what you don't find. Okay, you don't find a bag of cocaine with cocaine in it. Okay. You might be right, Joe. You might be right, because if there was actually cocaine in the bag, didn't belong to a coke addict. Okay. In fact, it didn't belong. If there was directions on a bag of coke, what the prescription would read, or the amount amount per hour.
Hide it from your friends. Is that what it would say?
It would say, "Do until you're done."
Do until you're done.
It doesn't matter if it's an ounce, if it's a whatever. Do it until it's gone. And then you turn the bag inside out, lick it, and rub it on your gums. That's what I read. And
listen. Let me ask you a question. I'm not like a real big security guy because I've never been in the CIA or the FBI or any of that crap. I know that some people with us have had a little bit of have an intelligence background and that kind of crap. How the hell does somebody get a bag of white powder into the most secure place of the United States? How does that happen?
Joe, believe it or not, it's one of the easiest things there is to answer tonight. You know how?
I'm waiting for an answer.
You are either the president or a member of the president's family, because they don't have to go through the traditional security. So if let's say you're Hunter, I don't want to get sued, but let's say he had some coke with him. I thought Hunter would have been a bullet guy or a St. James guy. I personally wouldn't think he'd be a baggy guy, but whatever. He denounces his own daughter, so maybe he does the baggy thing with the little wire tie.
Well, he did say that he, did the Parmesan cheese on the carpet.
That is true. That's an act of desperation. But
I think that he would stick anything up his nose that he thought would get him high. But that's
Yeah. So he doesn't have to go through security. He just walks around, and I think he probably thought it was pretty cool to do the blow in the White House, to do the white line fever in the White House.
You don't think that maybe Jill was
Dr. Jill?
Yeah, Dr. Jill. Maybe maybe she had a little medicinal cocaine. Maybe, who knows? What do you think?
I don't know, but let's ramp this up a little bit.
I've heard many variations of the story about the cocaine bear.
The what bear?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yes, the cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yes, the cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yes, the cocaine bear. That's a very interesting story in itself.
One of the most fascinating, he was an addict, addicted to adrenaline and excitement.
People say he was as ludicrous could be.
He had about 70 pounds of cocaine on him. He had a James Bond wristwatch that shot tear gas. A lot of people noted he was wearing Gucci loafers.
Well, this is very strange.
He developed
Let me tell you,
Gucci loafers.
The cocaine Biden.
The cocaine Biden. If that wasn't his coke, then whose was it? Come on.
Was the cocaine airborne or something? Because it seems like they don't know where they found it.
No, they know where they found it. They're just lying to us.
They're lying? The White House wouldn't lie to us, would they? They don't know where they found it. It could have been the library, in the construction area.
It was Hunter
in the cubby hole.
Bag of coke. Yeah. Actually, to show you, we're not necessarily, leaning one way or another. The secondary test of powder found in the West Wing lobby shows it's cocaine. Biden briefed on investigation. This is from another, the Washington News, the AP story of the Washington News. So, no joke. President Joe Biden has been briefed on the investigation and discovery of cocaine on the lobby floor of the White House West Wing. Now, here's where the lies come in, because we really don't freaking know. That somebody said it was out the Situation Room. He thinks it's incredibly important for the Secret Service to determine how it got there, officials say, but not. So Joe Biden wanted to know how it got there. He doesn't want to know whose it is. Heck no. Secret Service agents found the powder during a routine White House sweep. in a small, clear plastic bag on the ground in a heavily trafficked area. And this was the first story after they diagnosed the diagnosis, I guess you could say, proved that it was actually coke. That was according to 3 people who were not authorized to speak about an ongoing investigation, was, which is the way it is. The Associated Press on condition of anonymity. So this is kind of this is going to lead into a Karine Jean-Pierre piece. But on Wednesday, the press secretary, as I mentioned, Karine, said that the White House had confidence in the Secret Service, and that's, she gets the the Captain Obvious Award of the week. The president thinks it's incredibly important to get to the bottom of this, she said. And it goes on and on. The AP story goes on and on. White House, if a White House employee brought in the drugs, it would be easier to determine because staff are fingerprinted and subject to drug tests. So here's where we're reading between the lines. A visitor would be harder to pin down. So staff are fingerprinted. So we were talking earlier, Joe, right? If the FBI, the greatest institution of law enforcement in the world, if they only knew how to get a fingerprint off this little plastic bag, or maybe a little DNA, so we could find 3,000 people with facial recognition software in a day and a half that hung around the White House in D.C. For January 6th. But this is...
I want to know, was there a rolled up $100 bill in the bag?
They got some of this recorded on the dispatch call, right? Some of that was going around. They initially said that it was found in the residence's library on the ground floor.
That's where they first thought they found it, but they were wrong.
Yeah, well, that was the initial. There was a recording. I heard it.
Right.
But
you know what, Paul? When they realized that if it was found in the library,
that means
that would pin it down to the family. So immediately they had to scrap that idea.
Yeah,
because you can't have that.
Then it was it was a holding area that is accessible to both White House staff and guests.
They had to scrap that idea too, though, because that was another.
DC Fire and EMS did not respond to a request to clarify the discrepancy.
Right. So, I had a coworker today ask me, "What does it matter? So what that they found cocaine? So what if it was hunters? So what difference does it make? Why is that a problem?"
Well,
anybody want to help me out with that?
Sure.
Why is it a problem?
Now, like I said, number one, it's a security risk. And why is it a security risk? You can't get a freaking security clearance, the crappiest, if you will, security clearance out there if you piss coke, for example, or nowadays you might be able to get by if you smoke.
Yeah, but it's Hunter. If it's Hunter Biden's, he doesn't need a security.
I'm not finished.
I'm sorry.
Once you start into the history, and we already know the history because let's use their terminology. They've weaponized. So Joe Biden has weaponized Hunter Biden's addiction. Okay. So it's so public that they're using that as an excuse. Well, it's also, and to your friend's point, since it's a Biden, none of it freaking matters. And I'll explain why in a second. But anybody else, you're in a compromised situation. Now, if you're a coke addict, well, you can be extorted. You can be blackmailed. If you're this president's son, that's even worse because now you have, this guy's got access to all kinds of stuff. So it's a huge deal, not to mention the ethical and moral implications. This reminds me of the junior senator from Illinois who won the presidency and got it for 2 terms. Yeah. And denounced his white grandmother saying, I had the most scandal-free 8 years of any president.
That wasn't that when Michael said that he was the first time since he's been an American citizen, he was proud to be an American.
Yeah. First time Michael was proud to be American.
Right.
So So there's a lot of implication with finding coke in the White House. And again, a little history. We'll jump in and out of this, but if you, how can I put this? If you partake, if you don't grab a baggie. Let's say you're a tourist, for example, and you brought like an 8-ball with, I don't know, with you, and you're going to party while you're in D.C., for example, because this is what
What's
has
an 8-ball?
It'd be help me out here, Paul. What's that? Like 1/8 of an ounce, which is 28 ounces. So that's 3.5 grams, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So let's say you have that, and you're, what's that going for, $1.50?
It's a decent night's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Or for some,
or
some
a
people,
weekend even maybe.
Yeah. Sure. And it's straight. This is straight powdered coke.
So I've heard.
Yeah. And you're partying, and you're like, and you say, hey, I just did a line. Let's go do a White House tour. This is what you don't do. You don't take it out of your pocket and throw it in a cubby, okay? Because the last time you snort it, and this is the vernacular, if anybody out there doesn't realize it, the last time you snort it, you got about, I don't know, depending on the quality of the blow, or as they say in Miami, the yayo. Once you do your hit, your line, your bump, whatever that you want to call it, I'm trying to think of the stuff that I read about over the years. Then you're going to be what they call jonesing for another hit, and so you ain't losing your stuff. You're going to do it. You're going to keep it with you. So the idea of somebody leaving it, or that's ludicrous. That's absolutely ludicrous. More, somebody's coming, woof, and they throw it. I can see that happening. Or it was strategically stashed for a rendezvous.
Well, if you think about it, if they tell the truth, and I have to assume that they did find it in the library, he probably put it in the library, and that's where that was a safe place for him or her to go, do a bump. You know what I mean? Without anybody.
I suspect by putting it in the library that definitely omitted the fact for like Joe Biden ever finding it.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. And who's gonna really look in there? I'd be curious to see who found it. And they probably got fired, or they're dead. They had an accident.
Well, and then this one, I forget his name. He came out. I should have grabbed the bite. He came out, and now they said it was near the Situation Room, which has been defunct because it's under construction. So what he basically said was, the construction workers, that's who it belongs to.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, exactly. They're going to blame it. Of course, it's the blame game. They're going to blame anybody. They'll put anybody in prison for 100 years for some stupid lie. But you have to assume, and I'm going to assume, I know what happens when you assume, that the first thing that they said is probably the truth. And when they realized, ooh, that's not going to work, then they deferred from that. So I'm just going to go with the library.
Well,
Hunter did it in the library with a spoon or a straw. Yeah. That's where I'm going.
A McDonald's straw.
Yeah, I will back Jim up here. I don't know where he learned these words, but as somebody who was on the adventure, let's say on the adventurous, I was the adventurous type when I was a youngster. I have in fact tried cocaine.
No,
I have. As a matter of fact, a buddy of mine and I this is a great story. We set a record one weekend. We stayed up all night doing cocaine and drinking beer and playing pool. We won like every freaking game. We were like 18, 19 years old.
That wasn't before a Deep Purple concert, was it?
No, but this was before. Okay, after the all-night partying down in Toms River in New Jersey, we drove up to New Hampshire. My other buddy was getting married, so he had a bachelor party or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of think I might remember that.
Oh, you remember? Oh, you do? Okay, so we were still staying awake, and this is like quite a few hours already. So we do the thing up all night, doing the bachelor party.
Gosh.
Then we got to drive back down to Toms River, pick up my buddy's dad, and drive from there to Dover, Delaware, where there's a NASCAR race going on. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now,
didn't we have we had VIP tickets for that? They had VIP tickets for that.
We had VIP tickets, but we didn't stay in the VIP section. We busted out into the track and climbed up on one of the billboards. So we had security coming after us.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
I remember reading about that.
You remember that, huh?
No, I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, did you leave anything anywhere? Like, did you leave a baggie with stuff in it? Was it in a baggie?
No,
I'm not really
didn't,
that familiar.
but I think we set a record of about 68 hours awake that weekend, and I began to hallucinate on the way home.
And you were the driver?
I think I was driving. I'm not quite sure. I think I was because it scared me that I was hallucinating.
We drove a lot. We did drive a lot that weekend.
So back to Joe's work buddy. Yeah, it matters if there's cocaine in the White House.
Yeah,
you know, especially when we all know it was the president's son that was doing it.
Yeah, but he's on the right team, so nothing's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey, listen, and you know what? Just for the record, we don't begrudge him. You know what? If he's a party animal, let him be a party animal. But don't. I was going to use a bad word, but don't screw me in the over the whole thing.
You know what, Joe?
Don't screw the country over the whole thing.
It was like I always say that Bill Clinton he put the first black eye on the White House. Okay, I know
he got caught. Well, he got caught.
He got himself a Lewinsky in the White House while he was playing with a cigar. The difference was he lied to the American people. Do you think these idiots? Well, they are idiots. But the Bidens are morons. They came out, and this is right in your face. And instead of just saying, sorry, man, I'm an addict. You know, my bad. Biden's press can't get any worse. And when I say press, I don't mean the willingness of the press. I mean the stories. We all know what this is about. The only people that are defending Biden are the sycophants who don't care. You know how they claimed there was the sycophants on Trump's side. Oh, he could kill somebody in Manhattan, we'd still vote for him. No, that was projection. You know,
right.
It's all projection.
Hey, you know, if Hunter came out and said, "Yeah, that's my coke," you know, I need help.
I might vote for him if he ran for office.
I'd be like, I'm like, "Hey, cool," you know, whatever. But to lie to us and treat us like we're freaking stupid morons.
Yeah, let's get this out there.
It's insulting.
We
Absolutely
don't care.
Insulting.
I'm going to speak. You correct me, guys, if you don't agree with this. Not 100%, but in some kind of spirit or fashion. Other than some of the actual maybe gross, like majorly bad stuff, I don't give a crap what he does. You know, knock yourself out. In fact, you could vicariously party for all of us if you want, you know, with the hookers and the coke and the freaking whatever. And my problem is he was doing this on our money he
didn't invite us to the party.
Wow. Yeah. They were basically he was extorting other countries. I mean, if people can deny it. No, you never know. Where's the citations? Yeah. Well, just get your stupid head out of your ass and stop watching CNN and PMS. And maybe you'll get some information. There's plenty of freaking recordings out there of him making deals. He just extorted the Chinese official. And Chris Ray was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Chris Ray is a piece of shit. But anyway, let me play this.
Let's tone down the misogynistic talk there.
Yeah.
MS,
hey, I haven't got a massage in years. I don't know what you're talking about. So here's a little cringe for you.
There has been some irresponsible reporting about the family, and so I got to call that out here. And I have been very clear. I was clear 2 days ago when talking about this over and over again as I was being asked the question. As you know, and media outlets reported this, the Biden family was not here. They were not here.
Lies.
They were at Camp David. They were not here Friday. They were not here Saturday. They were not here Sunday. They were not even here Monday. They came back on Tuesday. So to ask that question is actually incredibly irresponsible. And I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. That fresh in from the triple affirmative action moron.
She's a historic.
She is a
historic figure. I could fix her.
You know what she needs, right?
It might hurt.
She needs like John Holmes for like a weekend.
Oh.
Now who's John Holmes?
He's some guy from the 60s.
60s.
I think he might be dead. I think he's
John,
dead.
Yeah, John Holmes died of AIDS years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she's like a little black Muppet up there. She has no freaking clue what she's talking about. And the fact of the matter was,
she's funny to look at though. Every time I see her, I laugh. She makes me laugh.
The thing is this. The Bidens were there Friday. They didn't leave until Friday night. So she freaking lied.
Yeah. Of course.
So and then we see Hunter wiping the sweat off his freaking forehead, napping at his lip. And
we've all seen that person, before. We know what we're looking at. Look, we're products of the 80s, man. We've seen that before.
That's
okay.
Right. That is our get out of jail free card as we grew up in the 80s, man.
Right? Coke. They say Coke in the White House is bad when Wall Street was run on Coke.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, and it's the.
And then we grew up.
Yeah, we grew. Yeah, but it's the outright lying. It's the it's the treating us like we're stupid, like we and you know what. You know what's kind of scary though is that half the country is scary.
Yeah.
Well, you notice that the same people that were anti-drug, they're now the pro-drug. Yeah. You notice that? The contrarians. It's like the COVIDians. The contrarians are out now, and everything. If Trump did coke, coke's bad. If Trump denounced coke, Hunter doing coke in the White House, great. And I'm going to keep saying that Hunter Biden did coke in the White House, and that was his coke. And the only reason there was anything left in the bag was because he was about to get caught. Because this guy would have freaking put a freaking McDonald's straw in there and sucked up 2 grams without even taking a breath. Okay.
Could you imagine how Hunter was probably freaking out that somebody found his bag? He's like, oh my God. He was probably freaking out.
You know what was going through his head? This is what was going through his head.
How am I going to replace that?
Crap, now I got to get another bag.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no freaking out. His entire life, he's gotten away with, illegal shit.
No. He wasn't freaking out that he was going to get caught. He was freaking out because he lost his freaking stash. Got to get more.
Yeah.
So he knows what he probably had enough. He probably had another bag though.
Yeah, he can go to the congressional pharmacy and pick up, quality tested stuff.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. We seem to forget there are other people in the White House that don't get searched.
Yeah,
okay?
No, I mean it's not 100% that it's Hunter.
That's the CIA, or not? Is the CIA? Not the CIA.
The Secret Service.
The Secret Service. Thank you. I got my head.
They're randomly piss tests. They're not going to take a guy making that much money and doing what he does. Isn't doing coke.
I know, but my point
are Boy Scouts.
My point was that these people, the people that are actually doing the searching, that they don't get searched. So they're the other people. And you're right, they're not bringing that in.
No.
You know what? It's the drug addict in the White House that brought that in. Come on, let's be realistic. If Joe Biden loved his son, he'd get him some help because. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before Hunter Biden ODs and he's no longer with us. We all know what happens to drug addicts in the end.
Right.
Joe Biden does love his son. And Ana Cabrera Cubano or whatever that retard on CNN, spending the week defending what a great father he is for loving his son so much. To stand by him. Yeah, well, Joe loves his granddaughter a whole lot, too. He loved her long time in the shower when she was young, and now she's all fucked up.
What about he only loves 6 of his grandchildren.
Yeah. And then we heard...
Is that what you were going to say?
Oh, we had to hear Whoopi come out and say, "It's not. That's personal. It's personal.
Yeah.
None of your business. Personal."
Did I mention my word of the day?
No.
Whoopi's a piece of shit. Is that your word of the day?
No, my word of the day is eviscerate. Eviscerate.
Can you spell that for us?
I think that you explained that to me the other day. I like that.
Yes.
Word.
What I picture in my mind is this little hook knife, and you stick it in the belly button, and unzip a Democrat up to their Adam's apple and see what spills out.
By the way, that's a gut hook, is what they call that.
Oh, okay. Well, unzip. I like unzip.
Yeah.
The evisceration
I don't even use one of those. I'm very skilled when I'm gutting a deer. You could just take that knife and you can just go right up that deer, and you don't
one of those tilt point.
My father taught me how to do that, because you don't want to get into the guts. You want to be clean.
I don't care about the guts, and
you're not eating the meat.
That's right. You're not eating the meat, and we're gonna have a lot of unzippering to do. You know what I mean?
I don't know how far this is from Biden's coke addiction.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I go off on a tangent. You
got me. You got me off.
I happen to know what eviscerate means, but some other people that are listening might not. I know we have some Irish friends out there. We have some UK friends. We have some Netherlands. If they're still calling them the Netherlands, whatever, they change all the time.
I just want to
welcome aboard, guys. We got somebody from Colorado. Welcome. So,
I want to shout out. I want to shout out to my Ireland friends out there. I'm coming out there because I need to go to your little factories that make scotch. Okay, is that where we're going?
You did not just say you're going to Ireland for scotch.
No, I'm going to go to Scotland for scotch.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Ireland is
Ireland makes that, but Ireland makes that Irish whiskey though. So. We can go back and forth because they're pretty close if my geography is correct.
Oh boy! I don't know if I want to go. We might get killed.
Whoa! Let me step in here. If you
go ahead, step in.
You're going to Ireland. You go for the Redhead Festival, man. Come on, this is not even a question. All the redheaded girls, they have a festival every year, man. It's like 1,000 redheaded girls get together and get drunk or whatever,
I got a couple of redheaded granddaughters. We ain't bringing them there.
No. That ain't the kind of redhead I'm talking about.
I think we're.
You totally lost
lay
me
off
then.
the drugs, man. Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, is Dave in?
Okay, wait. Well, let me get this straight. So Ireland has Irish whiskey.
Yes.
And Scotland has Scotch.
Yes, and that's all. You don't confuse the two. And I like I just started drinking Irish whiskey recently because I was raised a specific way, but we won't get into that. Scotch, however, I think I could go around the table a couple of times, but yeah. So there's a difference. There's a difference in flavor. I find personally, if there's any pros out there, let us know. I find this Irish whiskey to be a little more mild, sometimes a little low on the alcohol. It just depends on what you buy.
I mean, I've had. This is probably going to be insulting, but I've had Jameson. Now that's an Irish whiskey.
Yeah, that's Irish whiskey,
right?
Yeah.
But to an Irish somebody from Ireland, they might think that Jameson is crap. I don't know.
I don't know.
If you're if you're from Ireland, let me know what I'm supposed to be buying here, and I'll try it. Okay.
Yeah, if there's something that's in the States that we can get that it's not a micro.
And if you're from Scotland. I don't want to insult anybody, but I kind of lean towards the Highland than because I don't know the real peaty stuff doesn't go good with me. I don't know why, but I don't really like but the Highland Scotch I really like. Give me some recommendations.
Personally,
you need a minute.
Personally,
I'm good.
Personally, I don't drink alcohol. I do drugs, recreation.
You don't drink alcohol at all?
Okay, Paul. You want to step in? You want to do that dark news? We can try out our new intro.
Yeah. Let's. This is a serious thing. I just want to get that out of the way for the people who haven't.
Okay. We'll set this up then.
All right. Go ahead.
Perfect.
Live from our very own Dark News Network. It's tonight's feature, Another Dark News.
Yeah, this isn't my sort of tongue-in-cheek, normal dark news, or not even about chimps or anything. This is serious. You've probably heard of the movie Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. It's a small film producer, and it's really blowing up the theaters. It surpassed what's his name there, Harrison Ford with the Dial of Doom, whatever, which is apparently not that good of a movie, but big budget movie, Indiana Jones. Anyway, this movie is about a DHS guy who quit his job because he found out that there was a little girl being sex trafficked, and he couldn't go after to help her while he was working for the U.S., I guess. So he quit his job, took off, and apparently founded this underground outfit that rescues sex trafficked children. And so if you get a chance, get out there, see the movie, make it blow up. All the proper people are calling it, conspiracy theories, and this is QAnon craziness, like, CNN, Washington Post, Rolling Stone. You got to wonder why these people are dismissing child trafficking claims. Well, you don't got to wonder. They're fucking groomers. They're pedophiles, pederasts. They are literally Satan's servants. So
they're defending the child traffickers.
Indefensible.
Yeah.
Why are they defending them?
Because
Bohemian Grove. Because they, if for one reason, they're contrarians. Once again, anything good has to be mocked, and it has to be diminished. It has to be mitigated. So that's number one. Number two is that it's guilt. It's guilt. Every single time that there's somebody reporting on a fact that has to do with child trafficking, it's shut down. And guess who? Raise your hand if you know the answer to this, boys and girls. Guess who the number one child trafficker is right now in this country?
I don't know the answer.
U.S. government?
Joe Biden. Oh. Joe Biden is. He has deliberately turned his back. He's legislating through spite. He turned his back on everything Trump did. He has an open border, and I don't care what anybody says, all the liars that's in Washington, D.C. There's an open border, and he's allowing the facilitation of deadly drugs and underage child trafficking right in front of our noses. And he knows it, and everybody knows it. And his head, well, I'm just going to say, to whom much knows, much will be required. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, millstones for all. He is a sick human.
Yeah.
He's not just a dotard. He is an evil guy.
He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. So anyway, go out and see the movie. I've heard it's really, really good, and not a comedy, obviously, but powerful film. Joe, did you want to close us out with that, or how do you want to work?
Yeah, I got something I'd like to read from 2 Timothy. This is written by Paul around 66 AD, shortly before his execution. God,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, right. And he wrote this to Timothy as an instruction, encouraging him. Timothy was a young church leader, but it goes like this. This is 2 Timothy 3. You should also know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times, for people will only love themselves and their money, and they will boast and be proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving, and they will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and have no interest in what is good. They will betray their friends and be reckless, be puffed up with pride and love pleasure rather than God. They will act as if they are religious, but they will reject the power that can make them godly. You must stay away from people like that. I mean, this is written 66 AD, and what. I mean, I could go on. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah. It's the thing is about that. The people, the scoffers, and the so-called atheists, which is a joke. Yeah. Oh, you know. Well, there's a written word. No matter what you say, that was written how many years ago? And look at what's happening today. And if you can't put the two together, then you're just being intellectually dishonest with yourself.
You are, and you know, and it goes. I was, you know, I mean, I don't want to get into a big Bible study here, but I mean, you know, you can go on and on. But if you look at some things like as simple as Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, if you really look at the history of tribes across the world after the flood, there are what do you call them? There's stories that these tribes have. They talk. These are people that are spread in all corners of the earth, and they have their own rendition of a global flood. Yeah, you know. Yeah. And why do you think they have that? Because it's stuff that was taught down from them, from their ancestors. And if you look at like the structure of the earth and what's the study when they study the ground, you know, geography.
Geology.
Yeah, and you look in the mountains, you look in the highest points of the Grand Canyon, or overseas there's, you know, you got canyons over in Europe and stuff, that there are sea creatures that are embedded in the earth that are thousands of feet above sea level.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? I mean, there's so much evidence that you could look at, and when you turn your back to that and you don't look at it, you're not being true to yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. But there's a lot of evidence that shows that this is the way it was. So
it's the book of truth, man. And it had to be besmirched and smeared. And by the way, you talk about Paul being executed. I mentioned to you my shall we say vision, vision for the future. That's a bleak history repeating itself, maybe. But yeah, if you want truth, you need to read your Bible. It's as simple as that, and the truth is going to be much harder to find going forward.
So. Right. All right, guys. Good one. I think we beat a dead horse a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Hey, you know what? Just so, you know, we love Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. I really don't. This is not like to bash Hunter Biden. I mean, I really wish the guy would get some help.
Truth. That's all.
We need to see some truth. We need to get. I mean, the corruption needs to be exposed, and we need to correct it.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm of a different opinion. I think that these people who have committed this corruption have to be punished. They have to suffer consequences. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. You can't just say, "Okay, he was corrupt, but we'll let him go with an arm sorry." That's not how humans are fixed. That isn't how human civilizations are fixed. These people have to be punished, jail, exile, whatever. You know, unzipping. Did I mention the unzipping?
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. We had
you know, the three amigos don't have to always agree 100%, but
no.
We love each other.
Yes, we do.
All right, and you're way too loud tonight, so
I'll back it down.
Yeah, I just reopened. I see we were talking.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good night, and we'll talk to everybody next week. Later.
Have a good week, and good night from Central New Germany.
Good night, folks.